Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. I'm about to share a video with you which is going to be very self-explanatory, but it actually provides further proof of what many people are talking about as it relates to our people here in the lands of our captivity. Now, what I want to say to our people is this. This is why we must take care of ourselves and that we must trust the Most High, because when we put ourselves in the hands of people that are like the man in this video and those that he is speaking about, then we make ourselves very vulnerable. In this video, there are going to be admissions as to what they feel, or should I say how they feel about our people and other groups as well. And this is not new to me. I remember years ago I spoke to a doctor, a female doctor, which happens to be an Israelite. And she told me directly that she was writing a book with one of her colleagues, which I believe he was from Pakistan. In the book, they were exposing the medical industry or the medical establishment and talking about the things that they do intentionally to our people. And as they were writing the book, she received a threat, and she admitted to me. She said, well, you know what? The threat that I received, it scared me. She said because of that, she pulled the plug on publishing the book. But she was basically exposing what was happening to our people. Now, this was, I'd say, more than 10 years ago. Okay. Since then, we've seen a lot of people just exposing this, that, and the other. And this was actually before YouTube, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but it's been some time ago that I had this conversation with this black female doctor, and she was very troubled by some of the things that she saw. She talked about how she would see incidents in the hospital where they didn't do all that they could to save a black life. And it's almost like being in a situation where it kind of reminds me of that blue code of honor that they talk about, where they don't rat on one another, you know, on the police force or whatever. And even with this, with her being a doctor, working around colleagues that are not black, there's a level of fear of speaking out against the system. That's why being a part of the system can be so tricky, right? Anyway, I'm going to share this video. I'm not going to come back with any commentary afterward because, like I said, the conversation, the interview, the interrogation is pretty much self-explanatory. And it just reveals further the hearts of the people that are running things. Okay, and I just want to make my people aware of these things and not to bog you down with things that are negative or things that are stressful, because on this channel we are redirecting, but there are certain things that we need to know and understand. We don't cut ourselves off. We just process things differently. And so what I am asking you to do, family, is learn how to trust the Most High, learn how to take care of our bodies so that we don't put ourselves in situations to where we have to be there in the first place. Now, I know that there are certain situations or cases where you have to go. I get that. You're in a car accident, you break a limb, certain things that happen to you, you have to go. I get that. I understand that, okay? What I'm talking about are things that are preventable. You don't eat right, so you get sick, okay? Other things that we're doing to our bodies where it causes some type of breakdown in our body or our health. So what I'm saying is this. If we take care of ourselves, if we take care of our natural self and our spiritual selves, then we are in a better position to trust the Most High when things come upon us. Put our lives in His hand, because as you will see from this video, you come out no better if you're putting yourselves or your life or the lives of your family members in the hands of people who think like this. Okay, family, I am going to go ahead and roll the video.
Did this locker room talk consist of pejorative terms about people of other cultures?
Yes.
Including African American or black people?
Yes.
Including Hispanic?
Yes.
Including Jewish people?
Yes.
including people who are overweight?
Yes.
Are these kinds of negative comments appropriate to make about children with Down syndrome?
Objection form.
We say a lot of inappropriate stuff, all joking around. Not proud of some of the things that I've said before, but...
okay, then read it out loud for me, please.
Sure. Whitey, the advantages of being a white man can never be matched. All hail Whitey. Christian is like the Guatemalans of Hispanic people, bottom feeders.
And what is meant by the thumbs up in white and the thumbs down in black?
Joking around, I'm sure.
But what's the symbolic meaning? I'm lost on that one.
I don't
Does that
remember.
mean white people good, black people bad? Thumbs down?
I don't remember.
You would agree with me, would you not, that that comment's improper?
Inappropriate, yes. Not proud of it.
Okay. The comments that are attributed to you in these text messages that come from the phone, from your phone number, include old Jewish women with cancer are my Memorial City specialty. Fat black girls are too. Then there's the term nigger. And then there's the comment, did you cut a check for nigger Chris Smith? Did he say anything else? Then you say golf and baseball are rich white man's and poor Latinos' sport. Hoops are for niggers and white guys that don't have enough eye-hand coordination to hit a baseball or golf ball. Then you say white niggers taking care of business tonight. Are you tracking me? Am I saying anything incorrect about reading from these statements?
A lot of inappropriate locker room talk that I'm not proud of.
So, despite all of these comments in these documents, you are maintaining that you are not racist, correct? Is it your belief that others who share your love of athletics routinely use this kind of commentary?
Objection form.
Is it your experience that they do?
In my experience, yes.
Will you be able to produce after this deposition text messages and emails from your friends who say things like this?
Sure.
Objection form.
Can you draw a swastika?
Objection form.
I don't remember
Take your best
which
shot.
way it looks.
Objection
Take your best shot.
Objection form.
Do I have to draw?
Yes.
You said you don't remember.
I don't. I didn't.
Thank you. 28 has the words, drop your suit against Anthony, nigger lover 88 with 2 swastikas. Is that your handiwork, sir?
Objection form.
Never seen this before.
You get text messages from friends that use that term?
Sure.
Are they employed by Memorial Hermann Hospital?
I'd have to look at my phone.
Do you have friends at Memorial Hermann that in fact use that same kind of language?
I'd have to look at my phone.
What about at Team Health?
I'd have to look at my phone.
Well, you're not denying that you do, so my question is, how could your reputation at Memorial Hermann be harmed by your using that kind of terminology if your friends there also use that same kind of terminology?
Objection form.
I'd have to look back at my phone to look at exact messages and emails.
When you use the term Canadians in a pejorative sense, what do you mean?
That is a reference to African Americans, I believe.
Why are they called Canadians?
I don't know.
So some of your comments in Simon Deposition Exhibit 21 include, I want to be on the boat right now. This is on page, in the summary pages, 4. beautiful Saturday like today, and I'm in the fucking ER taking care of Mexicans and Canadians. Did you mean Mexicans and African Americans?
Most likely.
Is that to you a pejorative term like nigger?
Inappropriate comment.
Was Dr. Mike, excuse my pronunciation, Heyman or Heman, a doctor who signed your charts?
At some point, yes.
How about Jordan Smith?
At some point, yes.
How do you know Dr. Gary Horn?
We grew up together, went to college together.
When was the last time you saw him?
It's been a while, several months at least.
Does he engage in the same kind of locker room talk that you do?
Yes.
How about Dr. Mike Heman? Does he do it too?
Yes.
So he uses the same kind of terminology we've just described in your exhibit?
I'd have to look at my phone to see exactly what we've said in the past, but
Yes?
to some extent,
How about Dr. Jordan Smith?
yes.
And so you should have text messages, I take it, from Gary Horn and Jordan Smith and Mike Heman using the same kind of pejorative descriptions of other cultures in those text messages. Do I have to say the words, or can we agree that they use those same kinds of words?
Possibly. I'd have to look back at all the messages.
Have you guys been hunting lately?
No.
Fishing?
Not for several months.
Do you view them as the same as family members?
Very good friends.
Is it certification or licensure or registration would be the right term to describe your physician's assistant occupation and ability to do that work governmentally? What would you call that?
I have a PA license, and then I'm nationally certified.
Okay, so you have a physician's assistant's license issued by whom?
Texas Medical Board.
And what is it you have that's issued nationally?
A national certification of physician assistants.
Do either of these organizations have ethical rules?
I'm sure they do.
Are you familiar with those ethical rules?
Some of them.
Do those ethical rules forbid your disparaging patients?
I'd have to take a look at the rules.
So you don't know.
Not for certain.
Is it okay, for example, in Simon Deposition Exhibit 21, and you can look at GOL 0000291 in that exhibit, when you say something like that, too damn many man, and you're referring to Mexicans and Canadians, which meant black Americans, or African American individuals. Are those kind of comments inconsistent with the ethical requirements of your profession?
Objection of form.
Sounds like just locker room talk, guys joking around.
Well, that may be, but it's directly inquiring of you about your medical services, and you're commenting on who you treated, your patients. You're describing your patients. Is that acceptable to the ethical boards of the Texas Medical Board and the national version of that, who issues your licensure?
You'd have to ask.
Objection of form.
You'd have to ask them.
Let's talk again about your understanding of your ethical and rule requirements as a physician's assistant. Before you can dispense medication, to make sure I understand your testimony, you have to have actually physically examined the person to whom you are going to dispense medication, right?
Objection of form.
I'd have to look at the exact Texas Medical Board rules.
You don't know the answer to that?
I don't know all the rules at the Texas Medical Board. It's a lengthy document.
Have you had any communications with any representatives of Memorial Hermann Hospital or Team Health, for that matter, about Mr. communications to them?
Yes.
And can you tell me with whom and on what dates and what was said?
I can't tell you what dates. I'd have to look back at the records. One name that sticks out is Team Health. Her name is Paige Miller.
And you had a conversation with her?
Emails, mainly emails.
And what was the content of those emails, if you can paraphrase?
She sent me an email when she was notified by Memorial Hermann about the communications. And that was after the fact that I guess Team Health HR department had a discussion with my supervisors and administration about whether to terminate me or not.
And what was their decision?
They chose not to at this time.
Have you spoken to either you initiating or them initiating anyone else since these allegations, since these emails and perhaps verbal statements by Mr. Bell with Memorial Hermann were made about those statements?
Yes, my supervisor's boss,
And who was that?
Andrea Lowe.
Also with Team Health?
Correct.
And when was that conversation?
Since late last summer.
Can you describe the substance of that conversation?
It was regarding the content of the communications sent by Mr. and the discussions about the repercussions of those communications.
Can you be more specific?
They thought about terminating me, but at that moment they decided not to, since they said I was an upstanding person and employee.
Okay. Did they issue any new restrictions on your employment?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Did they tell you they were going to reduce your salary or compensation as a result?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did they put you on any kind of suspension or probation?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's okay. We'll guide each other down this tunnel. You show me how to disrespect property and con people on the streets, and I'll show you good old-fashioned Southern racism. That was referring to you, wasn't it? As a good old-fashioned Southern racist.
Sounds like I was joking around.
Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.